All right, and welcome everybody. We are live. Welcome to the launch party of Robert, and welcome our good friend. We all know him from the chat, Boogiebot Comics. How you going, mate?
Hey, howdy, hey, everybody.
Yes,
Kept it easy.
I'm gonna read your chat later. I saw it earlier. Hello, Blue, and hello, Steampunk Joe.
G'day, g'day.
Just for the occasion.
G'day, g'day. Guys, I don't know if you're aware. I didn't know if I saw you in there, Joe, but this has been the most epic Bogan Discord, which is the new word that I am coining now to call the pre-show chat. It is. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of comments in this thing, so I won't have any hope of going back and reading them and saying hello to everyone who was there. But yeah, that's been amazing. A fantastic start to the party. Very cool to see. It's been like as lively as friggin' Dan Frager's chat almost. It's
Oh,
been
so
insane.
you're not going to read them, right?
I No, but I'm gonna say I still am
Right.
gonna say hello
There,
to people.
there
They've
may
come
be
here for this
incriminating things
party.
in there, so that's fine.
Yes, yes. I should congratulate a couple of people. One sec. I need to say to who is it? Rob Arnold, not Skip Edwards, and who else was it? Camel Moon. Camel Moon. Here you go, buddies. There you go. You all got a wrench. May the great wrench war continue. It's I've seen some of you acting the fool in there. Skip Edwards, we all saw was very ceremoniously stripped, not unceremoniously, ceremoniously stripped of his powers yesterday. But he's paid his dues now, so he's welcome in the chat. So all my new wrenches, try not to be tyrants. But
Abuse of
if he
power.
gets out of line, obviously, then it's a completely different story. But
You call it ceremoniously. That ceremony was worse than sitting through all my older sister's high school graduations.
well, I was referring to Odin stripping,
together.
pulling the bits off. I thought that was really cool. And he takes the hammer back and he goes, "I take back your power." It was cool. I like that. Anyway, let's say hello to people in the chat that I can see.
God complex.
Black Rose Comics, how you going, buddy? We've got Camel Moon, the new wrench. He says, "I'm so happy with I'm a wrench. I finally have it mounted to something."
Oh, I thought it looked a little shinier today.
Chris Oak is here. Great to see you here, Chris. And there's the aforementioned Skip Edwards, who's so happy. Man of Action is in the house. Great to see you here. Who else is here? Not Skip, obviously. Newly wrenched. I just thought it was, someone there who could keep an eye on our boy Skip Edwards. And he's telling you, Blue, go get him. His Red Skip script, it's shit. It's shite. Well, I mean, I don't know. I haven't read it, but he would know. Who else is here? Shane Burgess is in the house. Stefani Renee. Oh, did I say Stefani Renee earlier? I did. I hope I did.
That's okay.
So
his name is nice to say.
Stefani Renee. There you go. Ryan Cardinal is here. Hello, Ryan. Who else is here? Who else? We got Darren M. Darren M. Another Darren. I get suspicious. Welcome, Darren. Greetings and felicitations. How's the chat? Wow, this chat started super early. It's still going strong. Looks like it could be a good carousel tonight. Runners. Thank you for the comment, Darren. Yeah, this is who needs a Discord when you can just upload daily streams and have everyone just come hang out before them. That's what it's all about. Who else is here that we have to say hello to? Our good friend Jim Cox is in the house. He says he's back in number 1, or he says be back in number 1. We're going to have to wait and see, because Robert has just gone live. VIP is in the house. He says, hail, Robert.
Hail.
Mo Biggs says, I don't think Bancroft has what it takes to pull off an evil, sober Cecil type of persona the way he apparently thinks he can. Well, let's put an end to that then. No need to be sober. It is a nice sunny day outside, so I think it's time for...
You can get it on a plank or doing business with a bank. You can get it selling a cow. Matter of fact, I've got it now. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. Victoria Bitter.
Excellent. Ah, there we go. There we go.
Crack open a cold one, everybody.
Cheers, fellas, to the party. Cheers, Joe. Cheers, Boogie. Cheers, Blue. Cheers, the chat.
Cheers, Boogie.
Cheers.
Here's to a big happy launch.
Indeed.
Indeedy doody. Oh, there it is. Here we go. Little late, but hey, howdy, 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 hey, everybody. Easy. Too easy.
Yeah, I'll let you slide easy on this one today.
He did. It was long, but it was easy. Who else? Let's say hello to Garth Ustveen. He says, "How is your day, my friends?" It's good now. Todd's Truth is here. He says, "Stephanie Renee hail." Stephanie Renee hail. Oh my goodness, this chat is going berserkoids. I mean, I don't have a hope in hell, actually, of saying hello to everyone. This is insane. All right, I think we should probably start the show. I'm sorry about that, but you're just overwhelming me with your amazing chat. Steve Wurst is here. And I think... Oh, and Johnny Rando. He says, good luck with the launch. Absolutely. Fantastic. Wow. Boogie, you've been showing me the campaign in the lead up this morning. Well, this morning for me. I guess it's night for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, man, I went looking through your Twitter for some art, and that art that I found. Remember, I said to you, you know, like, this should be the main image. I was looking at it just before. Like, I'm gonna have a lot of fun digging into this campaign with you, because there is some awesome stuff going on here. Let's not wait any longer. We'll wait a little bit longer because I've got to get the screen ready. Do you guys hear birds out there?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a squeaky chair.
Shut up, you Shut up! We have a bird. It's a dove. It got attacked by a little family of magpies. There's a mama magpie and two babies, but the babies are massive. And the bird, it's one of those doves that have a little spike in its hair. And the magpies were like, you can't come into our backyard, because this backyard is like, we throw out cornflakes and bread and all sorts of stuff. So that's like, this is their territory. And they want to guard it because they don't want anyone else stealing their free food. And they attacked this poor dove, and he hasn't been able to fly ever since. So he's been walking around the backyard for 3 days now. And I think that sounds like magpies come back to yell at him or her, whatever it is.
To wreak
What's
vengeance.
going on over there? These damn Australian birds.
Why are you
Right.
feeding magpies? They're terrible birds.
I just, you know, we don't feed them literally. We just throw stuff out, and if the magpies come, they come. I mean, not much else I can do. All right, yeah. So I was just saying, I had a look over Boogie Bot's campaign earlier, and I said, this image here, put this up as the first one. So I'm taking full responsibility for that being the image. I love this image, and I said to him, not only does it show off your skill with the, you do all the colors, don't you?
Yeah, I do all the colors and pretty much all the artwork for it.
Not only does it show off your skill with the inks and the colors and the way that they just work so well together, but it also, you know, you get to see the character here and, you know, robot story. You get a bit of the feeling of what kind of story it's going to be. But also, I like how, you know, he's got his eyebrows and his face and his mouth. Like, you can see there's humanity in this image. You can see emotion. So, you know, that's cool for a robot. There's another movie that did that. I think it was just called Robots. Which
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think that one was like I forgot who directed it, but I remember like it was like the main character's name was Rodney, and it was like the blue robot with like the eyebrows too.
Yeah, and yeah, it just worked really well. It was a cool movie, and it reminded me of that. And I was like, Oh, that is so nice. Like, I know if I came onto a page and saw that, I would definitely, scroll down and see what else is happening. What is going on with Camel Moon? I am a mod god. Is this the first wrench Camel's ever got, and he's drunk on power?
There's a reason he doesn't get wrenches.
But we're finding that out. I might have to do a whole nother de-wrenching stream if this continues.
Please,
is Rob Replicator here? I don't even know if he knows he's got a wrench yet. I mean, he does. He does. I'm pretty sure he does. Hey, Hex Allen is here as well. Oh my goodness, look at this. Hail salad. Hail salad. Hail salad. Hail salad. Am I going to have to, like, time out a wrench?
Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
Oh my god. Okay, Camel Moon, you cut that. Look at this. You cut that out. I'm de-wrenching you. I'm serious.
He missed the control and hit paste. Or hit V.
He really is drunk with power.
I didn't even see that one.
Mo Biggs says a Grifter Moon is the second worst mod after Rob. Oh my god! I will take that wrench away, just like Odin took the hammer away from Thor. Don't you doubt me? I've done it for less.
And when he takes that wrench away, all your clothes disappear.
Yeah, your checkered jumper and your Batman hat, all gone. Antoine says, "Cheers, Antoine. We're launching Robert, the graphic novel, the book for the man in the chat. We're all familiar with him. He likes to throw me little tongue twisters.
The hey howdy hey guy.
The hey howdy hey guy. Poland is saying, I warned you. Everyone warned me. But I never know how serious you guys are. Oh, I didn't read out anything from the thing. Let's see what idiocy they're saying today. Okay. It says, the most dangerous ant in the world is the Aussie bulldog ant. It can kill you. Well, that does not surprise me. I've not heard of that, but I do believe it. There you go. Stefani's sucking up to the boss. That's right. Yeah, man. Getting back to Robert, I was checking out your just, you post a lot of black and white on your Twitter. Did you put up any black and white in the campaign?
I think I put maybe one image of the black and white. I think it's closer towards like the bottom, but it's the black and white image of the thumbnail that you that they suggested.
Yeah, cool. You always, when you post them on Twitter, you're showing pens and things like that. So is this all hand done?
Well, like on my tablet, like all the stuff that I've been drawing.
It's digital.
You don't use aids to make your lines straight like a building with perspective?
I could.
No, Blue. People don't actually use aids to produce comic books.
Okay, all right.
I don't have AIDS, Blue. That's a nasty rumor.
Was there somebody spreading that rumor?
Black Rose says he'll take Camel Moon's wrench. And Bianca Fights a Zombie says, I will drop a community post for this. Well, yeah, let's get into it. So, like we suggested, right at the top there, Robert is a 60-page full-color graphic novel of the future today. Excellent.
It's a nice little tagline I've been using for a while.
I like it. And you've got a little bit of the description there. And this is, I believe, the cover.
Yep. I didn't put the Robert logo on the cover yet, just because I wanted everybody to get a feel for like the full cover, like for all it is.
Bask in its glory, so to speak.
And then for the past couple of days, I've been doing the like kind of countdown for like the emails. I've been doing like 3, 2, 1. I think the first day I had sent out the completed inks, and then yesterday I sent out the completed flats. Today on the stream I'll send out the third email, with the completed cover.
Excellent. Skip Edwards says comics don't have to be in color, Bancroft. I don't know if anyone is aware, but Skip is a persecuted minority. He's one of those. I mean, it's a small minority, but heavily persecuted in that he has
Irish?
trouble seeing certain colors.
He doesn't see color; he only sees black and white.
He and he cops no end of grief from it, from really nasty friends in his inner circle who taunt him and tease him by sending him messages in that only people who can see color can read.
That is shameful.
Yeah, so he then has to take those messages to friends he can trust to get them to translate it for him, and then he gets to see the nasty messages that these awful bullies send him.
Who would do such a thing?
I don't know. It would be a real shame if other people were to take up, such a shameful practice and repeat it again and again.
Just so we can be on guard against such behavior, is there a particular website that somebody would get such terrible imagery from and then send it to Skip?
Well, just in for the purpose of understanding and scientific purpose, really. Let me Google that for you. So I'll share my screen so we can all see what's going on.
That way, people can be on guard of any links with that particular address.
A secret message for colorblind people. Hidden messages, colorblind, Reddit. Where is it? Is this it? Is this the one? I don't know if I want to click this on the screen. I don't know what it's gonna be. I'm just gonna wing it. Is it this one? I don't know if it's this one. Go back. No, it's not this. I wish I had a. Oh, what's this? All right, I'm gonna go back one sec. Create. Hang on. Create message. Maybe that. Hidden messages. It might be that thing. I just not seeing how to do it. But I don't know if I can find the exact website that one would use. Not that I have any experience with this personally.
Mm-hmm.
But you could just Google that. I'm sure. I think it may actually be this link.
Well, I think
don't do that.
Yeah, I think having an awareness that such resources are available would help people to, get their defenses up and not be taken in by such trickery.
Actually, try that link that I posted.
Is it in the private chat?
No, it's in the public.
Oh, I'm not seeing it yet. Oh, there it is. Well, I can't copy that. So it has to go in the private chat. There we go. All right. Bear with me. We'll get back to Robert shortly. It's no problem. Things pop up.
It's only a launch stream.
I'm sure this is pertinent to the campaign.
Absolutely. It's good because that third tier there for $25 plus a little shipping, you can get a full line art only version. It's not a desaturated color. It's just the line art.
Yep, gotcha. Just straight black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Colorblinder.com. That sounds abusive just from the get-go.
See, you can simulate what colorblind people go through.
Oh, Red Week. Oh, I see. Mm-hmm. Oh, look. This isn't. No one should be making fun of this at all. Look at the different kinds that people have to go through. Yeah, that's shocking that anyone would take advantage of that. Antoine says, "Get to the campaign." I'm getting there. Hold on a sec. Gotta find it again.
Oh my god, it's
These
easier
tabs
to
are
get
not
small
easy.
children in bed than to get you to the campaign. Come on, let's go.
All right. So there's the cover. Fantastic, good stuff.
That's what Michael Jackson said.
And we'll go through the story in a bit, but I thought we'll just scroll down and have a first look at the campaign. Got some pages here.
Some nice pages. The first 5 pages are it's 1 through 5, and then I have some pages that are out of order. But I wanted to just kind of like give people like a kind of like a feel of like what some of the other pages would look like in the story.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, man. I'm really also as well. Like, I'm loving these pages, but I can't wait to see some of the black and white stuff again, because I think some of your black and white is like your black and white is some of the best black and white that I'm seeing out there at the moment. It's so unique the way you handle the inks.
Well, thank you, man. That actually means a lot to me, because I actually felt very like not as confident with my inks as one of my friends. He actually is a really good inker. Whenever we worked at the independent company that we had for a while, he actually used to do a lot of like the inks. Whenever I would do the pencils, he would do the inks for those books that we would put out together. So it's actually really nice to see like a lot of people kind of like taking to like my inks on here.
Mortal V asks, wow, Camel did get a wrench? Yeah, I might be starting to regret that, Mortal V. If you scroll up in the chat, I don't know if you can see the kind of shenanigans that he's getting up to. He says he'll pop this campaign in Frager's chat and get my eyes on it. Fantastic, absolutely.
Oh, that means a lot to me, man.
Well, now the race is on to be the first backer, because I'm still looking over the thingies.
and I haven't sent out the email yet.
So you had an initial number 1 go out before, correct?
Yeah. So for the indie company that we used to be with, I actually put out Robert issue 1. I actually had 2 issues, but on one of the perks, you'll be able to get one of the original Robert 1s, like the original story that I had.
Mm-hmm.
This campaign is kind of like a soft reboot, but the story is essentially the same. It's just like updated artwork and just like a more refined sort of story that kind of goes for like the for the new book.
So it's a full remastered version then.
Yeah, but the for the original issues that I had, I hadn't put out an issue 3, which would have completed the original story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I only put out 2 issues, and whenever I was gearing up to wanting to do an Indiegogo, I kind of figured like, well, if to me it felt like I needed to kind of like redo the artwork like from the beginning, kind of go back to square one and just kind of like relook at the story and then just really have at the artwork.
Does the signature here remind you of anyone's?
It does.
Who does it remind you of?
John Romita Jr.
Oh, no, I was thinking someone more local to us. This man here.
Rob Arnold? Oh.
Doesn't it look similar? Look, he's even got it on his icon there. Am I just crazy?
Semi-similar. I actually got a little bit of the inspiration for that little like the way how I kind of like sign it is. Do you remember like the old like Linkin Park albums that they used to come out with? Like they used to have like the LP and like the circle.
No.
I would usually just kind of like sign like a lot of the issues like that.
Right on. Mortal V says, I want him to covet the wrench, and then at the last I will deny him. And actually, probably just because I need to hang out here more often. Yes, Mortal V. Well, you do. I do see you have a handsome face now permanently in your avatar. So you're more than welcome to hang out and earn that wrench like the others here have. Hey, get over it. Says, sorry, beat y'all for number 1. So there you go. There's your number 1 backer. Get over it.
Nice.
Oh, thank you so much. Get
Everybody
over
refresh
it.
and see what tier he got.
We'll scroll up. We'll scroll up. Don't you worry about it. There's promotional art.
This is one of those campaigns that puts me in a bind because I have to figure out how much I can afford to spend on this one and still back a few others. So I'm gonna, like Blue, I'm gonna take my time and make sure I don't make any impulsive decisions that I'll regret later.
Oh, that's not like me. I go over all the details and then I get impulsive later.
I just back straight away. Never mind. I'm just like I'll figure it out later. If I need to refund and upgrade or whatever, I'll figure it out later.
That's usually how I am. I usually tend to just like back. Well, I'm not usually like a day one backer, but I'm usually like day 2 or even day 3. Or if a campaign's been going on for a while, and I just discover it, I immediately go to it.
Yeah, for some reason on the big campaigns that I know are gonna, blow past their funding goal, I like to back those at the end. But then on the ones that either I'm not sure if they'll make it or if, like with this one, I'm confident you'll make your goal. But I don't know how much publicity it's gotten so far. So this is one of the ones that I want to back early and try and help get the word out.
Just check out the detailing on this ink. Now you've got normal line art and shadows and stuff, but then you've also got this. It reminds me of that old stuff. They would lay down on the paper and then you'd cut it out and it would stay on there. This dot effect.
Yeah, I think was it the screen tone?
Yeah, screen tone, duotone, zipatone.
Yeah. It just looks rad, and then you've got another texture in the background here, which you can see it in. I've not got it pulled up here, but on the Twitter, it's much higher res, and you can see the actual detailing in the background. And everything. It's really amazing. Make sure you follow BoogieBot on Twitter so you can go check out this stuff because he's putting out art all the time, and it's all pretty amazing.
Now, BoogieBot, you've got the experience to make sure that the printer doesn't generate moire effects with that background texture, correct?
Yeah, so like that was a problem that we had whenever we released Robert issue 1, because I actually put the sort of screen tone effects like on that as well, and we had a problem with it at first, but we looked into like the different printers that we had that would actually be able to print them to how we wanted, and to me they came out pretty well. So like I feel confident in this one that I could actually be sure.
I think these are big enough. They're sort of like a design element. Obviously, the smaller you get, the more likelihood you're going to run into any kind of bad patterning. But these are actually quite large dots. So the printer should be able to handle them just fine. But obviously, you need to test these things.
Well, if there are any errors, it gives you a chance to tell the printer you can't handle the dots.
True.
There we have. Now this is Eastwood. No, what's his name again?
Yeah, you had it right.
Eastwood. He's like Clint Eastwood, the robot.
Yep,
doing his quick
the bot.
Shooting.
The bot with no face.
So you essentially rewrote issue 1. What did you not like about the old one?
Mostly just like because I felt like I had to kind of like restrict myself on the things that I was able to do, because the original issue 1 I had actually done that all on like inks and bristle board. So there was some stuff that I felt like I wasn't able to do, like the story wise. And then also I had done the artwork for that original issue 1 back in I think 2014. So with this one, like I felt like working more so with digital now, I felt like I was able to actually like get the line art like mostly to how I'm actually really wanting to see like the story kind of come through. And I feel like with this one, it shines through a little bit more, especially with like the full like characters, because I had a lot more like close-up shots, and I'll show more pictures of the original issue 1 too to people, because I've shown that off on my Twitter before, but I feel like it's something still kind of nice to kind of be like, oh, here's like the original, original versus like the kind of like remastered version.
And so, how long did it take you to at least do what? I guess this is digital, so the equivalent of pencils for the graphic novel compared to your old Bristol board?
Like comparing like the time from pencils on digital to paper.
Yeah.
For digital, it's a lot faster for me, just because I would say like on Bristol board I would be able to pencil and ink a full Bristol board page maybe in 2 to 3 days. That's if I'm like high intensity like working on it.
Mhm.
Versus like with I can get the pencils pretty fast within like maybe half a day, and then the inks would be probably a full day to get those inks.
Okay. And what do you draw in?
Oh, and in Procreate on the iPad.
Oh, okay. So does it have little? I can't say aids because Joe will go off on that. I also can't say sending the children to bed instead of getting them in bed. Oh my gosh! Thank you, Joe. Weirdo. Anyway, yes, Michael. Nobody said you could have a drink. Go back to bed. Anyway, Boogie. So as far as drawing on with Procreate, I've never used it. Does it have little assisted things for shapes or because Michael showed off how he has a tool that helps his lines stay in perspective. Do you have that with Procreate?
Yeah, in Procreate, it actually helps you create like straighter lines or circles or squares. A lot of the times, I'll actually try to make I'll use those like assisted shapes for like certain for certain features, but I'll go like I'll like, for example, like for the eyes, they're usually perfect circles. So what I'll usually do is I'll pencil it out as like a perfect circle, but when I go back to ink it, I like to kind of give it that sketchy sort of style, so it looks a little bit more kind of like hand, like more so like hand. Like, I mean, it is hand drawn, but I mean, like, I guess more so like on. It gives it that look of it being on paper.
So you use the assist for pencils, but then ink it by hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Here's an example of what I was talking about, how the line art and the coloring really complements each other, the palette you're going with. I see you're using color holds on the ink there to show that like red hot look. It's really cool. I really dig this look here.
Yeah, I think that panel gave me the most trouble, just because I had to try to like make sure the holds, because I had like the screen tones in the back on a different layer, and then the hand on a completely like the top layer, but also the the boxes. I had those like in its own separate layer as well, just to make sure that I can get the hand like for the holds layer, like actually color them in to make them look like red hot.
Black Rose Comics says perfectly imperfect. And Camel Moon says, I dig this art. It's very unique and original. Yeah, I agree. It's, if you had said I'm doing this all traditional, the line art, I would have said, oh yeah, it totally looks like it. It's, it's not like any other art I've seen really out there, especially digital art. And I'm just, I'm so happy that this is finally live, because, we've been looking at this. We had you on to talk about the mailing list and everything, and been keeping my eye on it the whole time. It's very cool to see it here in the flesh. Chris says, I love texture and organic qualities in digital. I dig this style a lot. Sounds like you've got some fans here.
The texture is it gives everything a little bit of age, where I think EVS was critiquing, upon request, critiquing the artwork for the guy who did Stump, Nathan Rosario. And looking at a Stump page, he said, "Oh, these robots, you got to make sure that they're consistent, that they are hard lined, things like that. That the shapes are uniform and smooth, so that they look like they're made of metal. Otherwise, they look like mush, and it doesn't work. Whereas what you've done is you've textured the metal plates. The metal plates all look very hard. They've got their shape, but because they have texture on them, they look lived in." for lack of a better term. But where they've been dusty, beaten up by the sand and things like that. So and then they have their dents, but that's not the same as being soft. So that's good.
Pastmaster Dan says Thunderbuns could be sleeping and we wouldn't know. Are you there, Joe?
What? Yes. What were we talking about?
We're talking about what Skip Edwards is saying here. Definitely doesn't look digital. It has that happy accident aesthetic that most digital work lacks. I agree.
And that's actually something that I kind of like did a lot, like for a lot of these pages where there's a specific brush that I like using for like that texture that kind of gives it the kind of grungy sort of look.
Yep, I can see it in use here.
A lot of the times I usually use that just kind of like not sparingly because like I do use it a lot, but I'll usually the first stroke I put on the tablet is usually the one that I tend to leave, unless it's just completely out of lines. But I usually tend to leave that there just because like it would be. I kind of work at it as if I can't erase it sometimes, but then there's obviously clear mistakes that I have to erase sometimes when I'm making.
I like this one. VIP says Slumber Buns, your new nickname.
Actually,
it has happened before.
Not by me, but yeah, on one of the couple of the late night shows, there've been people
Rot10
dozing
fell
off.
asleep. Piper fell asleep.
Yeah,
I'm sure you've been close, Joe.
At the end of a couple of those 8-hour ones, I was getting pretty drowsy.
Well, you're putting Leroy to sleep, but I mean,
mission accomplished.
That's our goal. Black Rose says so many books. I wish I could back this included. Yeah, well, I spoke to BoogieBot. He's got the 30-day campaign. Very likely he'll be putting that out to 60 and extending it. I don't know. I mean, it's too early to talk about all that other stuff. We'll get you back on and talk about in demand and all that kind of stuff. Let's just introduce everyone to the book for the time being. I just realized we haven't talked much about the story. Do you want to give us a little primer on what the story actually is?
Well, yeah, I could talk a little bit about the backstory. So, like for most of the people that were that follow the channel, when you saw me on like the live stream for the sign up page and everything, the backstory is still in the year 3000, Y3K wipes out all of Earth's technology, and most of the humans on Earth have to either like live in bunkers or just underground, and they essentially have to like go into hiding. And in the year 3000, it was mostly populated by robots, but they were like a slave labor force. So they were like warehouse workers, taxi drivers, chefs, police officers, and when the Y3K happened, like all of Earth's technology went out. But miraculously, the only bit of technology that like restarted were the robots. But in a kind of twist on the robots coming back to life or like being restarted, they all lost their they still had their cognitive functions, but they lost their purpose. So when they've woken up in the like past the year 3000 from Y3K, they have to essentially build a new personality for themselves and create a new purpose with a lot of like the media, like books and movies, TV shows that we've left behind here on Earth. So that's where we kind of fall under with the main set of robots that we'll see are the Western bots. And they get a lot of their personality from like the old like Clint Eastwood movies or like the old Western like films, like the spaghetti Western type films.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the three main characters, that's the backstory, but the kind of like current story that we follow in this book, we're gonna get bits and pieces of that story from Y3K happening throughout the book. But the main three characters, Robert, Charles, and Eastwood, they're basically wanted men they went on a supply run and it went south. They were trying to rob these Western bots and now they're out for blood basically. So now it's just a cross country road trip for our three main protagonists.
And that's this guy, Robert, and the dude, the man.
Yeah, for Charles.
Mortal V is mourning. He said, "I failed to bring in any new backers. I suppose I'll need to see if Shane does a stream later for my next opportunity at Shilling." Thank you, Mortal V. Yeah, let's get the word out.
This still means a lot, though.
Absolutely.
Should I send out the email?
Yeah, probably. You send out the email.
That'd probably help.
And we'll check out this art. You can kind of see it here, what I was talking about, a little bit better on the, the dots. He's got the screen tone or whatever that's called, in conjunction with this. Yeah, I guess you call it like a scratchy kind of artwork. I saw we were talking about hiding, like letting the art, just do what it does. And I saw Skip get a little dig in here, a little revenge on me. Bancroft's work usually relies on hiding it all with color. I mean, I've been totally open about that. I would never even consider making a black and white book. It's oh, look, I just got the email. I just saw it. Fantastic. Hopefully some people will jump on that. Yeah, no, black and because I draw knowing that I'm going to color it, and I absolutely rely on the coloring. Did you guys see my tweet from earlier where I talked about some of my limitations with drawing? I'll bring that up for you.
I actually don't think I saw that today.
The one where
I'm beginning to understand why I can't draw hands. I use my own hand as a reference.
I did see that.
And
it was brave of you to show it to the world.
I posted up a picture of my hand for all to see, and now you can understand why. I mean, because you can usually sort of like use a mirror or something, and if that's what you've got to work with, you can understand why I find it so hard to keep it all in check and looking normal.
It's unsettling.
How many years of kangaroo milking did it take to achieve such a appearance as that?
Well, you can get it within the first decade.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
But hopefully now you all understand my plight. It's not just Skip with a debilitating disability. I too am a persecuted minority. I have ginger root hand. It's been my dirty secret now for all these years, and I turned it into a joke to as a coping mechanism to be able to deal with it. But hopefully you can all. You can all maybe throw some sympathy bucks at me, if anything, at the very least.
My sympathy lies with Mel. I mean, I thought she was a merciful woman before tonight. Now she gets the gold medal for showing mercy.
Imagine that thing just gently stroking,
like caressing someone's cheek. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the bravery it took for her to have children with you, knowing that her kids would get half their genes from their father, and not knowing if the hands would be included among them.
Or if it happened to their feet.
Mo is saying Skip made the best video memeing Michael's hand, and Bancrofty wrenches him. I know. Look, as I said, I felt like Ned Stark holding the sword. It was my duty. It's not like I did what I did out of, and it's not like I relished it and had a whole lot of fun with it for an hour. I did it with a heavy heart. Mel says, "Ew." I don't know if she'd seen that one yet.
Sorry, Boogie, but I had to step away for a small emergency for a moment, and I missed like a minute of because I could hear in my speakers, but every time it's quiet, it's like that's just Michael talking, and so I'm not missing anything.
Oh, it's no problem.
Anyway, so what was the germination of this idea? Like, when did it first come to you? And I understand that means it might be, well, I was sitting on the toilet, and but because that's where ideas happen. But Anyway, what did this idea
That's for
first
me.
look like when it started?
Well, I was sitting on the toilet, and so like the original idea, like the original intention behind like actually wanting to write Robert was it was mostly that like my grandfather, he actually really loved the old Clint Eastwood movies.
Uh-huh.
And me as a kid, a lot of the comics that I grew up with, I loved more so like the characters and armors. The first comic that I actually bought was the Warren Ellis Extremist Iron Man run at my comic book store, and I fell in love with Iron Man, and I originally had thought it was literally just a robot until I realized like, oh, it's a guy in a suit. And that ever since then I've always been kind of like infatuated with just like robots in general, like same with like Transformers, the Iron Giant. And I kind of figured I would just kind of like blend the kind of merge the two, because I loved the old like Clint Eastwood films too, like A Fistful of Dollars, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And I kind of wanted to just make a blend of those sort of things that I thought like to me would actually like be really really cool, or like that would actually make really really like sweet like action pieces.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And that was like the main like kind of like culmination of it, was just wanting to make something like that. And also my favorite film growing up was always Toy Story. So in my favorite character from that movie was always Woody, and I knew I had to make some sort of book or or a drawing of some sort that just dealt with a cowboy. And I kind of figured that would just kind of like be right in my wheelhouse, because I love drawing robots, and westerns were always like one of my favorite genres of films. And from then on, it just kind of like started from there, and I just kind of started wanting to try to make this idea of, oh, what if it's just like a post-apocalyptic world, but it's mostly just like what if the world kind of reverts back to how it was sort of like back in the Western times, but it's in the future and there's robots running amok.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's neat how. By the way, I think it's my connection, but I heard you roboting there, which is really ironic. Or was this audio fine to everybody else?
He sounded fine to me.
Okay, good. So it's going to be fine on the recording. Anyway, when you get totally disparate things like Iron Man and then the westerns put together like that to inspire you, that seems to be where the best stuff comes from. Is finding a way not to just slam together like a meaningless collage, but to really work together two things that have nothing to do with each other.
Mm-hmm. And that's always been like my kind of like, not motive, but it's always been the thing that I've always liked seeing in like movies and TV shows, where like it's something kind of recognizable that people kind of go, oh well, this reminds me of this and this. And when they actually like look into it, and because obviously like there's always going to be like movies and TV shows that remind people of like certain like movies and TV shows that they've already seen, but I guess it's just a matter of can the writer make it like different enough to actually like warrant it being made. And I feel like with Robert, I feel like I have enough like things that are different from a lot of like Western films, and it's just a fun story in general. So I feel like the kind of like adventure aspect of it will just kind of like adhere to like the Western, like kind of like the old Western films, kind of like how they were.
Cool. And so for the original number one, you have only 50 of those. Is that right?
For the original number one, yes, I only had I had 50 of them, and if there's any like, because some of them have scuffs on them, so I'm debating whether or not to make a reprint of those and kind of clean up some like the just to clean up some like the, not the line art, like the kind of files for like for the reprinting of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just that way people will actually have the original, and they won't feel like they got like ripped off, or like, oh, like these have scuffs on them. Because I used to travel to a lot of different conventions, and a lot of the times when we would bring them into like the shelves that we had like at our booths, or in the comic book boxes that we would take everywhere. Sometimes they would get scuffed or battered or beaten. So I'd want people to kind of feel like they're getting like a better product for it.
Okay, no battle damage.
That would be kind of nice to do the battle damage, because I need to be sure if I do have the 50. Last time I checked, I do have 50 of them, but but I want to make sure that they're not like tattered or beaten.
50 nice ones.
Mhm.
So this is cool. You said you're keeping it simple. There's no add-ons. It's a book. It's a black and white book. And then if you really want to go all out, there's the original book to add on to. I'm sorry, on the big perk, the featured one.
Mhm.
But yeah, keep it simple. A book, black and white book, 2-color books, no add-ons, interior art. Yeah, very straightforward.
Yeah, and I feel like I just wanted to kind of make it straightforward, especially for my first time doing an Indiegogo. I felt like that was like the best like route for me to take on this one.
Uh-huh.
I think that's a good move, and I'm going to be doing something similar. You can always make it more complicated later on, but I think simpler is better the first time out.
Mm-hmm. And then we have like stretch goals like for the campaign too. If we meet them, then obviously like all the perks will end up having those additions onto them, like at no cost to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Run with Caesars brings up an excellent point that we touched on earlier. The problem with robot protagonist is how much emotion can you get out of a character like that? Love the art. Well, allow me to show you how much emotion you can get out of a robot. It's a lot, actually, it turns out. As long as you give them eyebrows and a mouth, you can pretty much do the whole job. I mean, I know that's pretty much, what I do, for all my expressions. It's like, okay, what are the eyebrows doing? And the mouth.
I actually noticed that too from from most of the Pixar films. If you've ever noticed, like just about all the main characters actually have eyebrows, even if they're not like if they're like animal type characters, like Bullseye, the horse. He has eyebrows on him. Like a horse wouldn't really have eyebrows, but it makes the animators have the ability to actually like give him emotion and just like be able to emote like so much more.
Yeah, you would think you can do some subtle things with eyes, so that's where you've got a bit of a lack. But I mean, you can do pretty much most of the work with the eyebrows and a mouth that opens. So mouth closed, mouth opens, different emotions. But there you go, Run with Caesars, right there. That's why I'm so happy that he picked that image to have up top there. Because it shows, this is a story with some heart and humanity in it, right in that image. Professor Murph is here. Great to see you, Professor Murph. He says streamlined perks. I don't know if you saw this earlier. Boogiebot, my wife was in the chat and she said, I can't. Boogie, I love the look of your book. Michael, better back it ASAP. There you go. I have permission. I mean, I have a mandate, pretty much. It's an order, essentially. Camel Moon says, "Hey, refresh." All right, let's refresh it because we don't want to see it sitting here on 0. Let's do a refresh. There you go. 3 backers. Oh, I've got you in. Of course, I've got you in Australian dollars as well. Sorry about that. $195 and 3 backers already. Excellent start. Excellent start. Let's keep that going.
Well, thank you so much to everybody who's backed it so far.
Professor Murph says too much product can eat up all your funding. Absolutely. And it is that much, more difficult, I think, especially for your first kind of big real outing to, have all the bells and whistles, especially when you may not have built the trust among the fans yet. That would require them.
Trying to sell extra posters and things like that is, on an unproven title, because I mean we haven't read it yet, is sort of premature. But you've tucked your posters away. Oh, no pun intended. Anyway, you've tucked your posters away in as the stretch goals instead, and just said, okay, if we're gonna make it there, I'll just give you a poster. So it's an okay way to do it.
Well, I've decided I am gonna get the featured tier.
Well, let's have a look at it then. What sold you on it, Joe?
Was
Gears and Cogs.
Gears and Cogs bundle.
The fact that I can get some original art for basically $40. I already knew that I wanted to get the color and black and white versions of the book. and then seeing that I could get a sketch for only another 40, that that sold me on it. Because like you said, Mike, the black and white art really impressed me when I was watching, or when I would see Boogie posting early on. So I knew from day one that I was going to back this when it came out, but I didn't know he'd be offering to do sketches as well. So that's what I'm going to have to go for.
Oh, that means a lot, man.
I'm sorry, I was just reading the chat. Skip says Mel B has the only wrench that matters, and Mel said, "You're goddamn right, Skip. Not like Camel Moon." You're very welcome, Run with Scissors. Yeah, we do. I mean, we'd like to interact with the chat over here. Yeah, I agree. This is
I actually really love the chat. This chat,
like I said,
this chat here specifically. Like compared to like a lot of the other like YouTubers like in CG, I love this chat specifically.
Yeah, that we've got I'm I'm putting the TM on it. We've got the Bogan Discord before the show. I usually put the stream up a couple of hours before we go live, and usually it's either Jim or Mo or Rick or VIP who are the first ones to pop in. Sometimes it's Skip. And then it's just on for young and old. It's fantastic. I just keep it open and just, keep an eye on it. And depending on how busy I am, we'll come in and try and stir some shit up. It's good fun. I mean, what's the point unless you're not having fun? But there you go. Boogie actually asked me, is this a good price? And I was like, are you kidding me? This is a freaking amazing price. For all this stuff, including the sketch. Yeah, it's a fantastic price. So, well done on selling Joe on the featured perk. Now you also have the Robert the Graphic Novel, which is just the first book. And if I scroll up here, I see, it's a 60-page full color graphic novel. So $25, in my opinion, is a steal for a 60-pager.
Mm-hmm.
And then that illustrious black and white. Now I'm with you, Joe. There's no way I would be getting this without the black and white.
Yeah.
So for me, it won't be the double barrel pack, which is, I assume, just two of the normal colored version. It would have to be the Robert in color and black and white. And there you go. You get the two. I mean, it's pretty straightforward for $45, which is a $5 discount.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this man.
Now, I'm curious, when you're done looking at this tier, Mike, if you could go down and we could see what the interior cover pages were.
Yeah, those descriptions might need a little clarification.
On the interior cover pages?
Yeah, the inside cover, there's only two of those. The inside cover front, or for the front cover, the inside of the back cover.
Oh, well, there will be like extra added pages in there for like the for the cover. Like I mean, like 60 pages, as in like for the actual story.
Right. We were asking about the description of the tiers a little bit lower down. I think they were for $350.
Yeah, and then those were like the what's it called, the covers. I guess like how like they usually have like chapter breaks in some graphic novels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, all right. So these are what would be chapter covers if this was broken out into floppies.
Yeah, but I felt like it'd be kind of nice just to have like the kind of like in like most novels how they usually have like a picture to kind of like show what's coming or like what happened in like the previous chapter as to like kind of what's coming on in the story.
Yep.
I like your motif though, where you've had the what looks like it's from the silent film area with those title cards. And those are good. They fit the motif. They fit these. Yeah, motif. That's the word.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and I presume that you will eventually get the art up there so that people can see. What they will be getting.
Yeah, currently right now, I'm working on the first interior cover. I wanted to try to get as much of the interior art as I could for the campaign, but In the campaign, I think close to the bottom. Like I wanted to ensure people, just because like I know like a lot of campaigns how they usually like for a lot of Indiegogos, they usually have like original art for sale, like the pages, and then sometimes the it's usually either like it'll usually be like maybe let's say 20 available, and the person who buys one of them for like $300 will end up getting a random page that maybe they weren't happy with, or maybe they weren't exactly like wanting that one. They wanted like, oh, a different page from the beginning of the book. But I wanted to make sure that with 3 chapter break covers, that there was the 3 separate tiers, so that way whenever I do upload the images, everybody can actually see them and be able to back them. But I wanted to ensure people that they're going to be the same quality as the actual cover for the black and whites, because the actual cover that I did for the book, that's actually on Bristolboard as well.
Sketch Therapy asked a question: are these are these original art tiers? Yeah, you should probably write before anyone buys them, because I think you can edit them until someone buys them. Obviously, well, if someone buys them, it'll be sold out. So you could say interior cover A original art right up there in the title, just so that people know. Because I see here it says, yeah, 1 cover A original penciled inked interior.
Yeah, I should probably add that for the for the titles of those.
Yeah, where you've got that larger bolded font, because when people are scrolling through, usually it's just looking at titles and prices, and then if they see something that grabs their eye, then they'll click and read more detail.
Looky, who's here, Darren Wagner.
Hey, Darren.
He says, hello, everyone. I'm new. Looks like there's already a Darren in here. Hopefully there's room for 2. Yeah, I know. I got thrown because it was Darren M instead of Darren W. And I was like, I must admit, I was, what's the word for it?
Taken aback.
Bamboozled?
Flummoxed?
Flummoxed. Even better. This is why I have you as an editor, Joe. He always knows he always knows the right word to say. Sketch likes the art. So I wanted to scroll down because this is a good chance to, as you say here, meet the characters. Now we've got you here. We're going to go a little bit over time today because it is a launch party. Not too long over time, because I do want people to watch the replay as well. But how about you just give us a little, brief description of who these characters are?
Yeah, no problem. So Robert is the bot out of time, and from the story, Robert is actually we're gonna see the more we read into the book, we'll see that Robert is actually he was actually made in the 1800s from the person who actually built him. We're gonna see that he's actually the first robot in existence. So his whole narrative is that he's basically just a bot out of time, and he's waking up into a world that's very similar to how he was back in the 1800s, like kind of close to like the Western times. But there's robots all around him, because whenever he was built and whenever he was booted up, he was only surrounded by nothing but humans. But now he's in a world where it's completely surrounded by robots, and it's still in his like Western, like, so it feels like home. It's just everybody for the most part are robots except for Charles.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, cool. And that brings us to Charles.
And then Charles, I had kind of a slogan name for him. His name was Charlatan Charles. So in this world, he's actually a mechanic, and he grew up during the fallout, like after the events of Y3K. His father ended up teaching him how to actually repair robots, because that's the only way that humans can make a living in this like dystopian future, is by claiming supplies. Claiming supplies from robots, and in exchange they would fix certain things in on the robots, like they would replace arms, limbs, like replace circuit boards. That's the only way how humans can kind of get by in this new dystopian future. And for humans, since they're not really the main population, it's very hard for humans to actually get by. So he has to kind of like rip off a good number of robots, and that's where hence he gets the name Charlatan Charles.
He's got a bit of a I mean, just from this view, he's got a bit of a Han Solo look, with the vest there and the hair, and I don't know if that's totally coincidental or whatever, but I just kind of got that vibe from him. So it'll be interesting to see if he's like that at all as a character.
He has a little bit of like that kind of like smuggler sort of kind of personality to him, but yeah, that's a little bit more so kind of like what his character will be, and I kind of got a little bit of that from Eastwood and Charles kind of like hanging out together, because in the book they've actually known each other a lot longer, and they're kind of like the Chewbacca Han Solo sort of pairing, and then when they find Robert in the broken down, like in the crashed airship, they end up booting him back up, booting his systems, and then he becomes part of their little crew of misfits.
Sounds good. And Get Over It asks, is that after Clint Eastwood?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sir Clint Eastwood himself.
The man with the 20-mile stare. Why don't you tell us a bit about the robot Eastwood, though?
And so for Eastwood, for the final main character of our book, his whole program and like his whole motive in this book is that he used to be part of a gang called like the Western Bots, and that's the group of bots that we're going to end up seeing trying to hunt them down after a supply run, because the three of them ended up taking supplies and killing off some of their crew, and now they have the bounty on their heads. And Eastwood used to he used to actually be with that gang, and his original purpose before the whole purpose before the whole like Y3K happened, he actually used to be a police robot. He actually used to be a sheriff, and so in the book we're gonna see that he has a lot of the robots, they don't remember what they used to do or who they used to be. And that'll kind of play into his character as is it really him making his own choices? Because all the robots, when they rebooted, they created their own personalities, and they were able to make their own decisions. But here we have Eastwood. He's friends with Charles. We're going to see, is it really him making his own decisions now, or is it his programming coming back?
Yeah, right. I just wanted to compliment you as well. Being a graphic designer, I know there's a million graphic designers named Michael in Comicsgate, at least 500 actually, if we're going to be honest. But as a graphic designer, I wanted to compliment you on the design of this whole property, and that you haven't just tacked on design as an afterthought. It's sort of part and parcel of the whole look that you're going for here. You've got this motif here, you've got that type, it's those backgrounds, it's all seamlessly tied together, and all all within the genre that you're going for there. So let me just compliment you on that. It's
well, thank you so much. And most of the motif I actually wanted to get off of like that kind of like the old sort of kind of like black and white films. That's why we see like the kind of borders around these kind of like character bio sort of things.
Mo Big says 10% funded. Well, it's getting to that time, unfortunately, where we do have to say our goodbyes. So let's scroll up and see. Oh, hang on. 10% funded. So you're at the moment here. I've got you 3 backers, 195. Let's put in a refresh. And he is correct. He's not lying to us. 5 backers, $325. 10%
Yes.
of the way to the goal. And guys, look, if ever there was someone out there to consider supporting, it's BoogieBot. He's a man in the chat, of the chat. He's one of us. He's out there with making an incredible looking book, doing the colors, doing the line art. He's a really nice guy. He's out there on Twitter as well, sharing up everything. So this one absolutely gets my wholehearted recommendation, and I'm proud to say that I am one of those 5 backers. But of course, I backed it on the show to give myself my own Bancroft bump. I mean, I'd be silly not to. So I'm a proud backer of this as well. Skip Edwards says, "Hell yeah." Mo says he's not lying to us. Don't sound so surprised, Bancroft. Sketch says, "I think the dilemma of who we are, where we were, who we want to be is an interesting internal dilemma that can resonate." I agree. And look, I think the fact that you've created these robot characters that have kind of human stories, I think it's a great it's a great thing to do. And again, I love that piece that you put up there at the front. I think it really works. And Get Over It says, "Hey, the email worked."
Hey,
that's sort of become a point of contention. You know what I think it is? I know from a fact that if you've got lots of people on your email list and you send all that out at once, the email, like the browsers that receive the emails can somehow know all this, and then they're saying, "Oh, this person's spamming." So guys who they get, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 backers. If they just send out that 4,000 emails from the one place all at once without anything before, the email clients will look at that as spam. That's why if you sign up to things with these companies, they do what's called a ramp up, which is where you slowly start sending them out in bits and bits so that people kind of get to know that you're not a spammer. So for us smaller guys, it doesn't really matter. But it's great to see that your email worked. Liam's asking to come in. Sorry, Liam, I can't bring you in. We are about to close out. Check out Robert the graphic novel, Boogie Bot. It's been a pleasure, man. It's been a blast. I've been so happy to help you launch Robert. A fantastic new looking book. I'm proud to be a backer.
Yeah, it's so great to be back on here. It feels like so long because it was just about 6 months ago whenever I came on here for the first sign up.
Wow, has it been that long? Man, time flies.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was so strange, just kind of thinking back to that time just kind of flew by.
It has indeed. Joe Blue. Oh, sorry, I should say Steampunk Joe. And Blue, thank you so much for joining us. Blue's fallen. Joe, wake up! Wake up! The man's selling his book.
Yeah, it looks great.
And to the sexiest chat in CG. I mean, I think we've broken records today. I really do. The comments, the chat, the fun. You know what it's all about. It's been an amazing chat experience. I'm coining the new Bogan Discord trademark here over in the chat. So make sure you come in tomorrow. I'll be loading the stream up 2 hours early for you all to come in and hang out. Look at Lord Kraken.
I'll be there
giving
too.
us the How Comics Gate. And tomorrow, the man in the chat here, where is he? Professor Murph will be back with War Party. We're gonna chat War Party.
It's gonna be good.
Awesome. Yeah, very, very good looking book. I can't wait to get to see what that is all about. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Let's spread the word on Robert because we need to get this bad boy up and funded as soon as we possibly can. We can't let a book as good looking as this.
Wait a minute.
What?
Are we looking at your screen, Michael?
I don't know. Are we?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Right underneath the words flexible goal. Put your mouse there, if you would, please.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. No. Over a bit.
This
the
one?
words flexible goal.
Yeah.
You're moving your mouse all over. Okay, down a little. Now click that.
I can't.
You can't.
Because it's going to ask me to log in.
Oh, you're not logged in. Okay.
No.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I would encourage everyone to click that so that you get the updates and you see it in your list. If you want to back, you don't forget to later. That kind of thing.
Absolutely.
I thought you were logged
absolutely.
in.
Yeah, and I'll keep posting artwork on there too for everybody to see.
Yep, yep, and go follow. And you've got a YouTube channel too, don't you?
Yeah, I haven't been posting as much, but when I get the second trailer up, hopefully this Friday, I'm gonna start doing more so kind of like art shares on there, just like showing off new pages and just kind of like giving like the day-to-days, just to let people know like how the pages are coming along and just how the book is.
Cool, cool. All right, great. Excellent. And Boogiebot Comics on Twitter as well. Yeah, let's make this happen. Thank you, Run with Caesars. He says, "Hail, mad respect, Michael. This is a great channel. Good luck to Boogiebot." Thank you so much, and yeah, thank you to
so
all my
much.
guests. I'm going to close out with something a bit different today that I've not done before. I think it might become a regular thing. I'm noticing that people are starting to put up some really cool 30-second trailers. So I think I might close out the show now with some trailers for other campaigns. See how it goes. If you like, if you don't, I mean, if anyone's here, whatever. It's a nice way to close it out. All right, guys, we will see you tomorrow. Good luck. Bye. See ya.
See you, everybody.
My name is Sydney Valentine, and I'm a survivor. A revenant slaughtered everyone I love, including my daughter. They're evil spirits, back from the dead who wield machetes and tire irons, and a bullet to the head won't stop them. After one butchered his congregation, St. George claims God called him to hunt the revenants, and he's recruiting survivors to join him. Most won't make it out alive, but at least they're taking a stand. God has his book of life, and St. George has his kill journal.
None of you are prepared. Prepared to do what it takes. You wanted a better world. I'm here to give it to you.
Replicator returns with 32 pages of glorious full-color art, including covers from Dan Fraga, Kanan White, and Rob Willis. If you're new to the series, you can also pick up issue 1 and 2 with art from Jawbreakers and Graveyard Shift 3 artist Aaron Alfecci. Replicator 3, Mutants vs. Machines. Back it today, only on Indiegogo.